I'll give you a little bit of background on me. So I work for a family of companies. We've got 33 businesses, mostly based here in Colorado. I didn't have a job description. Kevin and Chris, I just did special projects, and there was we would look for adjacent opportunities of what can we launch off. In that process, we met this advisor who started talking to us about infinite banking, and it was brand new, foreign concept to me. We dived into this concept of storing capital in life insurance as an asset, particularly for us using it as an asset on the balance sheet of our businesses, but really just creating this line of credit to go buy real estate and to launch new businesses. Our revenue, I think we should top a little over 200 million this year, which we were at about 10 million in 2014. So we're pretty diversified now. We've got everything from, like we're saying, a log cabin company to P&C insurance to a hotel. So we have kind of across the board different businesses. I'll start upfront, clean hands. I sell life insurance. One of our businesses is Unbridled Wealth. So my hope is if you think this is a good strategy, you'll use me. So specifically what I'm going to be talking about today is an IUL, which IUL stands for Indexed Universal Life. It's just a permanent life insurance policy where your cash value gets allocated towards different indexes to earn. What you do not want to do is be like, hey, I had a liquidity event. I sold a business. I'm going to put 500,000 year one, and I'm only going to be able to do 20,000 next year. It's a really bad idea. The difference within a life insurance policy like this is they all have a 0% floor. So if the index goes down, you don't lose any money. Final piece, death benefit. This is the piece that people undervalue because it's not really important until you die. You can borrow against your policy at any time for any reason. So again, let's take a scenario where I think in year 5, I said you've got about $525,000. So this is your cash value. And you take a scenario where maybe you're trying to buy another business and you need $500,000 down. So we're going to take a $500,000 loan against your insurance policy. But at the same time, that entire $525,000 is going to be earning as if there's no loans against it. So you're basically double dipping here. You've got the earning of the business you've bought and the investment you've done.
Because it almost sounds like it's too good to be true, but I know it's not because a ton of people do it.
What we found is over, 10-year periods, 20-year periods, 50-year periods, 100-year periods, there is a spread, a greater growth on cash value than what you're paying in interest. So the business owns life insurance on them. So, every Fortune 500 company, every bank, they all have key man policies. So if their, CFO passed away, they would have some cash to rehire, etc. If you have business partners and you have not reviewed your buy-sell agreement, I would very, very strongly encourage you to do it. So states like Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Texas, they're all going to have 100% creditor protection on the cash value. What that means is you have $5 million in cash value and you get sued for $5 million and you don't have other assets in your estate, they cannot touch a dime.
You guys know Chris and I bought this windshield business. We bought it cash. I had just set up a policy with Jonathan. I had cash in there, so I pulled out whatever, a couple $100,000. I got it in 24 hours, by the way. I wired it, did the business. So I bought the business with that money. And then you guys follow us. That business is like almost 10x now.
I like to have X dollars liquid. And that is the money in my cash value that I just don't touch. I'm like, that is emergency fund. So I know I'm always going to have at least that much money.
So essentially, that was pretty well making money right there. The delta between your expense and your income on the interest, the tax write-off, and the investment you invested in.
So 529 is traditionally where you store cash for your kids long-term to go pay their college expenses. We went the route of buying life insurance policies. I really like that you're super flexible along the way. So like Kevin, for your 6-year-old, you could be like, hey, I'll pay in for 10 years. And then, when they're buying their first car, you can teach them to borrow against their policy and pay themselves back. There's a proverb that says a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. And I realized that my 5-year-old Charlotte, by the time she's 80, she would have had this policy compounding for 75 years. And my grandkids are going to be the recipients of that. Like, that's pretty darn cool.
It is.